Yeah, dog, and we're live. Welcome to R2R live stream, episode number 21. Are we at episode number 21? I gotta double check. Here. Yeah, we're episode number 21. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget to hit the post notification bell, subscribe, drop a comment, and post this all over social media. Get this out there on X, get this out there on, you want to call it Twitter, get on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. We want to let them know that we're live. And we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the stock market, why it's pumping today, what's going on in the market, right? And before we get into that, don't forget, link is in the description, guys. Link is in the description. If you're not tapping away on your phone right now on Bad Bunny, tap to earn, I don't know what you're doing. Right? Links in the description, guys. All you need is a smartphone. It has to be a smartphone. You link up, you go, if you don't have Telegram, download Telegram. It connects you to the Telegram bot, and you can start earning tap to earn today. I'm going to do a dedicated video later today on a recording to tell you why tap to earn cryptocurrencies have been successful, where they're going, what Bad Bunny's doing, what their developments are, partnerships, give you updates on that. But now's the time to get ahead of the game. When you got your spare time, you tap away, you cut your carrots, links in the description. Now let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Let me take a look if anyone's in the comments. What's up, Mark? Hello, King. What's up to you, my fellow King? Hopefully, you're happy Friday. Hopefully, you're enjoying your Friday. Need some of that elixir. What's up, Westside Ian? Salute, my friend. What's going on? Yeah, dog. Welcome here. So just jumping into, we'll take a look at the price of Bitcoin before we jump into the stock market, because we are heavily correlated with the stock market. Once upon a time, that wasn't the case. Bitcoin and the entire market cap and what it did as far as going up and down, it had no correlation for a long time. But all that, what they call smart money, big money, institutional money is involved, and everything is tied in together. So Bitcoin is on a run today, $1,492. That's a big pump. That's a big pump. We're going to talk about that. But in addition to that major pump, as far as Bitcoin, come on, break 60K and just never come back, right? Jumping to the stock market news and why the stock market is going up across the board. I get a plus 27.68 points for the S&P 500. The Dow 30 is up 283.12 points. The NASDAQ plus 139.02. The Russell 2000, 52.13 points. Crude oil is up just barely 0.12. Gold, $2,609 gold. I've been buying gold and silver for a long time. I've always been like that that person who stocks commodities like gold and silver, because I believe the dollar was going to collapse because of inflation. So I've been on that journey for a long time. But take a look at gold, man. Just look at the 1-year chart of the growth of the price of gold, man. 1 year ago, you could have got gold. Oh, look at that dip right there below $1,900. Man, gold is having a great year. And that's because everything out there in the world is like, there's uncertainty, there's undoubt, right? Mark, gold all-time high. I mean, with the way the economy is on a global scale, not only in the U.S., but everywhere, we're in hyper-inflationary periods. You go to the grocery store, groceries are expensive. Your dollar doesn't go very far anymore. I remember being a kid, going to the liquor store and being able to buy candy for 25 cents. I remember going to Thrifties and buying a double scoop of ice cream for 55 cents. You know, if you were to walk into a Thrifties or whatever they're nowadays, Rite Aid, that same ice cream, that double scoop is going to cost you well over $5. I kid you not, for 2 scoops of ice cream. But what's the news that's going on today? We want to read about that and why it's important across the board for, the price of crypto and the stock market. Traditionally, before the elections, they do stuff like this so that we go into an environment where everyone's happy with the stock market, and now crypto's up, and we go vote for our favorite candidate. So it's almost like it's just predetermined, and this is what they were going to do, as far as maybe call it manipulation, but the rate cuts is what's going on. Stocks gained with the jumbo rate cut back on the table, right? So they're setting the stage for a strong weekly win after expectations of a 0.5% rate cut shot up. So news of that, man. News of that is big. And it's going to benefit all of you out there in crypto. It's going to benefit those of you that are just in the stock market. Hotter than expected, the consumer prices and on some wholesale prices over the past 2 days have led markets to price in a higher likelihood that the Federal Reserve will opt for a smaller, more conservative interest rate cut as its September meeting. So this is a big month for us. That's why a lot of people that are doing chart analysis and they go on there and they show you the charts and what can happen. They're speculating on what's already kind of known out there when it comes that rate cuts are coming soon. So that's why a lot of the pros are just like chilling during the summer. They're like things are going to sell off, and then they buy the bottoms before these type of events happen as crypto drops. Everything has to do with the stock market and crypto now. Bitcoin is tied with it. Bitcoin's tied with all the other altcoins on top of that, like Ethereum and all the altcoins below. So that's why you've been talking about people saying it's going to be bloody in crypto. Things are going to keep going down because they know that it's up until we confirm the expectations of a rate cut coming. It was a good time to accumulate in cryptocurrency and in some stocks as well up until this happened. So Friday saw a rise in expectations for that jumbo rate cut by policymakers per the CME FedWatch tool after reports of a Financial Times and the Wall Street Journal that policymakers were struggling to come to a decision. Investors now place a roughly 45% probability on a 50 basis point cut at the Fed's meeting next week, compared with the 15% at one point on Thursday. So that's a big jump in what people are speculating is going to happen, right? They're more confident now. And that's something to look out for. The rate cuts take place. Everyone starts to FOMO into the stock market, FOMO into cryptocurrencies. And it's something that, we already knew was coming around the corner. Now, on a much bigger scale, right? The elections are coming up. And look, you can be in some part of the world where you don't care about U.S. politics or you don't care about what happens with the election. But here in America, and where Wall Street, and all that is taking place and where we're at, everyone's worried about, who's going to win. There's the left, there's the right. You got two candidates, right? One is super pro on crypto. One has a DeFi platform coming out on Monday. And he came out and said, we're going to leave the banks behind, the slow banks behind. This is the kind of stuff we've been preaching about for a long time. Like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was designed to cut out the middleman, cut out the banks, cut out all the people, drain the swamp, get our freedom of ownership of our own money and control, have custody. In what world would it make sense to work as hard as you do to put it into the hands of somebody else, to put it in a bank? Because they offer you safety. Well, how are we safe when there's a lot of cyber warfare out there? Things are getting hacked. People do fraudulent activity on our bank accounts and credit cards all the time. I don't know anybody who has never had something happen where they're like, oh, I got a charge on my bank, on my card for this. That wasn't me. And you call in and they cancel it, send you a new card. I think everyone's gone through that. So it's not safe and secure. What is safe and secure is self-custody. That's where crypto is at, blockchain. The transparency to be able to see, what happens on chain. You can see all that from your transactions. And there's a safe way to do it. The dumb way would put it on your smartphone or a soft wallet. And the smart way would be using a ledger, right? So let's jump into, price predictions. What do we think? Anybody out there in the chat? We got 15 people in the live stream. Don't forget to pound the like button and post notifications so you can catch the next stream. I got a video coming out later, and I might do a live on X. So you got to follow me on X, right? I always post that in the description. You got to follow me on X. I'm very, very active on X, also known as Twitter back in the day. But let's look at the price of Ethereum, because Ethereum, in my world, at least my followers, everybody's like, ETH's got to go off. ETH's got to take a big jump because we're down. We're on a huge leverage on Ethereum right now. at least my crowd of people in my community. Ethereum up $47. That's 2%. So that's $2,400 Ethereum. Can you imagine what the FOMO will be when once we break 3,000, right? So we break $3,000 Ethereum. And once we go from 3,000 Ethereum, everyone's going to FOMO in. Then we go to 3,500, and then we go to $4,000 Ethereum. Like that's going to drive a lot of buy pressure and people thinking that Ethereum's going to go to a 2 to 3x, right? And everything's measured from the bottom. You have to measure everything from the bottom. So it's not necessarily if you think Ethereum's going to 10x, it doesn't mean it's going to 10x from this price or 5 or 3x. It's measured from the absolute bottom of where it was at the lowest point in the last cycle. So I think roughly I'm looking at Ethereum between $7,500 to $10,000 in the next bull market cycle. And then I've seen a lot of speculation of Bitcoin being a $248,000 token. So if you just even cut that in half, you're roughly $120,000 plus, maybe a 130. To be super conservative, it was $130,000 Bitcoin. You're looking at a 2x, a little over 2x from where it's at today. I think that's reasonable to believe that can happen. You never want to over speculate and hold and go, oh, I'm holding until 250,000 or 200,000. You might be happy getting out at a $150,000 Bitcoin or $7,500 Ethereum, right? So I think that's very realistic. I like to take numbers and be like, okay, if such and such is predicting, let's say I go on a mainstream media website, oh, the next bull market, Ethereum, $20,000. Let me cut that in half because I feel like everybody out there that's pitching these ideas to us wants to get people to think it's going that high so they can hold and they can dump on your heads. That's the nature of the beast, right? Even if it's coming from a mainstream outlet, like you see out there, because I like everything, and I'll pull up in a second here. We looked at crypto news, not only what was it a few days back, and crypto news was all about like the scaring the mainstream people that look at crypto news that are not probably involved in DeFi that, oh, it's unsafe and the FBI is going after all this stolen money, like all the same things that happen in the real world with your bank anyways, right? So if you look at crypto news today, what's at the top? Sure enough, what I just mentioned, the sentiment in cryptocurrency is looking at Donald Trump and being the leading pioneer and the first politician who's not really a politician. He's actually real. He doesn't fake it until he makes it. He doesn't go on there and script. He just, if you make him angry during a debate or if you say something, or he acts like the typical emotional person that's defending himself, and he's just him, right? And everybody's saying, you look at, now you type in crypto news on Google, all 4 articles are about Trump because of what I just mentioned. He's coming into DeFi. Look how much further ahead this candidate is, Donald Trump, compared to the rest of the world, and even like Kamala Harris. The rest of the world is looking at, okay, should I buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum? We've surpassed that by years. We're in DeFi. We're in the decentralized finance. So that's further down the line as far as education and knowing how to go from, Coinbase or your Robinhood or whatever centralized exchange you use, and go on to where you're using self-custody with a ledger and you're operating MetaMask or Rabbit Wallet or Tron Link and all these wallets, and you're operating in a decentralized manner where you're really out there and exposed to different opportunity and different risk when it comes to security, right? So that right there, oh, I didn't even click to it. Boom. Now you're looking at it, right? So that's the news articles we're looking at now. Type in crypto news and you see the first article, Trump, second, third, and fourth. And what are they planning to do? They're looking at this, and it is what it is. Trump's in DeFi. Trump is coming up with a platform in DeFi. So let's look at what Bloomberg has to say, because there's going to be some that are very, negative and not have anything good to say. Behind the Trump crypto projects is a self-described dirtbag of the internet. If you do this right, who effing cares if it goes to zero? Chase Hero once said of crypto. I don't think I could read this. It wants me to do subscribe to Bloomberg. Is that what it wants me to do? I don't do that. No, I'll read like the AP News and see what they're saying. Trump plans to launch his son's crypto business on Monday, 50 days before the election. His son is going to be, Trump's going to back it, and his sons, or Donald Jr. and Eric, are going to be running the show, right? So, former President Donald Trump plans to deliver remarks next Monday about cryptocurrency and launch the company World Liberty Finance. World Liberty Finance is going to be a DeFi platform. Okay. So, imagine having a president, a stand-in president who wants to dominate Bitcoin, be the largest miner, be the largest holder in all of the world when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? Pro crypto, and then is participating in DeFi. We're going to move the ball along a lot quicker here because it's not only going to introduce the mainstream of people to invest like in Bitcoin and Ethereum, where they'll sooner find altcoins. They're going to discuss what decentralized finance is. And I know if you ask anybody you know out there, friend, family, coworker, friend of a friend, just anybody you have a conversation with, right? You bring up Bitcoin, they got a little bit to say. If you brought up DeFi, you said DeFi, decentralized finance, they would not know what in the world you were talking about. I bet anybody you talk to would not have a clue what decentralized finance actually is. And they're going to jump into that and introduce it to the American people, right? So his speech will come 50 days before the election, an extraordinary use of dwindling campaign time to promote a personal business. We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind. I love that. I love that because that's what's happening. Leaving the big banks behind, the banksters, the gangsters, you know. And this to me is like the most exciting thing to ever happen. And this is why he's hated by politicians. You see, the banks, everyone who endorses politicians, like your typical politician, is, you know, people that have big money, people that run the banks, you know, the Jamie Dimons of the world. They are not going to like this because decentralized finance and Bitcoin is a direct threat to the way that the governments are run today, the way that the banks run the world. And that right there is dipping into their pockets and taking money out of it. And, you know, nobody wants that, of course, but it is what it is. So enough about that. We're going to jump into deck screener. If anybody's in the chat, pull up any token. Jump in the chat, pull up any token. We'll take a look at it. Right now, we're just going to look at what I have pulled up here, what I'm going to type until we get some people, viewers out there that want to participate in the chat and say, what's going on with this token? We'll take a look. So we'll start with the Titan X flywheel here. What's Titan X doing today? Only 1.83% in the red. Its biggest inflation day as far as Titan X is coming. Like, I think in what day is it? Friday the 13th. It's coming soon in 2 days on the 15th, I believe. And I'm going to bring up that Dune Analytics here in a moment here. So on after September the 15th, Titan X, as far as the inflation, is going to go all dwindle down to like nothing on a daily basis. Like there's not a lot of tokens coming out, which reduces the amount of sell pressure on a token with only $2.6 million of liquidity, right? Which this is going to be a very powerful moment for the Titan X community that's looking at potential 2 to 3 to 5x returns in the upcoming 60 days to take place, because in the next 60 days, they're going to have gone through inflation going down, and practically to nothing, to different protocols like Hydra that's going to burn Titan X, and all the existing burn on Titan X protocols that are out there right now burning it, like Inferno, for example. And we'll pull up the price of Inferno. So Inferno right now is an important, very important token to take a look at and consider if you are looking at getting involved with the build on Titan X protocol. They are in their last day for minting, utilizing your Titan X for your Inferno meme coin token, right? And I'll pull up the website. We can take a look at the timer. You come here to inferno.win, click on enter the website here, and cycle number 8, which is the very last cycle. If you're familiar with the Dragon X ratio swap, when they had all the way down to the last day that you could swap at a certain ratio, that's happening here. Cycle 8 started. There's 20 hours, 24 minutes to come and get your bags. You're right. They have a primary example 100 million Titan X here would get you 65 million Inferno, which is a 4% ROI, getting it here and minting it versus going on to the market, of course. And then scroll down to their docs, right? This is so you can understand the ratio of what's going on with minting and how it's gone down. This right here is the most important part of understanding right now as it stands for what's going to happen in the next 20 hours. Week 8. It's done 8 weeks of this, and it did it weekly, right? So this is going to get you 1 Titan X equals 0.65 Inferno, and then the minting is it stops. It stops. It gets to a hole. And here's the thing. And look at all the build on Titan X protocols, right? I think you're gonna like this. I need a Gatorade and a little bit of water because I'm yapping and yapping. Always got to be well hydrated, right? So when I made the decision on this back when it first came out, it was like the same thing that I experienced with Helios, but like the way they worded it was more. It made it more obvious. Helios had like their developer fee that was at a certain point, and the community said something and they lowered it because I think there was a lot of people that were like, "Whoa, Dragon X is taking a lot of Dragon X for their dev fee and a lot of Ethereum, right? They're gonna make a lot of money." And people had a problem with it. And then the counter was, well, if you're a developer, you should get paid. So I was reading this, right? And I just couldn't get over the fact of their fees and how this was built for the people. So when you go to on the, let me make sure I'm here taking a look at this really quick. Yeah, we're on the same page here. When I was looking at the why participate part and the what's the Bulls deal, 8 weeks of scorching minting action that ends in 20 hours, a decreasing mint rate that'll make you want to grab the bull by the horns early. So that they're adding some funny stuff while you're reading it, right? A buy and burn hotter than a Texas summer, 90%, y'all. And then they put no sneaky founder allocations or fees. This bull's for the people, right? And watching it unfold, watching it in real time, understanding that there is no founder fees and allocations and fees like that, and then watching the success of the token we'll come back here and look at the price. They obviously, if they want to get paid, and they were like, we're not going to do a dev fee, they went the like 100% on the opposite side of the fence of what most people are thinking. They believe we make a protocol and we should get paid for it, right? That's what most protocols really thought, which is okay. You're entitled to believe that, and if people want to be on board with that and think that's okay or feel like they're okay with that, then that's everybody is on a base by base type of feel. If you're okay with that, they figured we're gonna make it for the people. No sneaky fees, no allocations, none of that. So the way they make money is by participating in their own token. They have their own wallets. They probably buy the token. And the way they're going to make money is by performance, right? By execution. And how do they get paid? Because their product, their protocol participates in feeding the build on Titan X ecosystem model, which is pairing up with Titan X like they've done, burning a ton of Titan X like they've done, and they've burned about 47% of their supply already. And I'll take a look at the numbers to verify. So you look, their success that started in August, and it's only been a little over a month. Look at the price appreciation, right? So you got to think like they didn't take anything from the back door. Now, it's one thing to take fees and all that, and people be okay with it, but to me, it feels better that none of that was taking place. I'm much more comfortable knowing that, hey, they didn't make any money off of this or off the backs of the investors unless they did everyone a service. So we all win and make money together with the developer versus everyone participate and the dev gets paid regardless if it does well or not because of people that participated. They're getting paid regardless, and then it can go down and not function the way it's supposed to. But they built a community. They've built a design that I'll take a look here and we'll look at the numbers. We'll go to the burn page. They've burned 46% of the infernal supply. 46%. And they're buying and burning Titan X. They have $1 million worth of Titan X that's going to um, be triggered every 30 minutes. And this is going to be their buy and burn mechanic. The amount of Inferno that will be bought is burned in the next period continuously. That right there is a very well designed product. I'm very happy with that investment. What's up? We got the cheers, everyone. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here, Duke. Thank you for the support. So I'm very, very happy I participated with that early on, along with Blaze and their association with Blaze. And then Flux is coming out, which is going to have part of their ecosystem is going to help the Inferno token, from what I understand. I'm going to do a live stream about Flux in a few days. And I think the developer or one of the team members did reach out to me on X. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I do want to get with them live. I didn't have a chance to message them directly. I don't know if they can message me, but I plan on doing that because it's going to ultimately help out. And when you go over and you look at the Titan X website, right? So if you want to go ahead and pull it up on your screen too, so you can follow me, or I'll show you guys here. The stats link at titanx.win shows Inferno. Look at this. Look how much Titan X they've burned. Look at that. Wow. 474 billion. They're ahead of Dragon X. That's 81 billion. You see, Dragon X has delayed gratification. They got dev fees. They've already pitched to the community that they believe they earned that and they should get that, and that's okay. But a project that's only a month old has already burned way more than any other protocol versus Hyper, which Hyper is Jake's product. And Dragon X is pretty much Jake too. It's like Jake's building Hydra. So Jake and Eric kind of are together. So Inferno's done some pretty big things as its own that was made for the people. I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that's the most respectable team I could have ever seen come out of the Build and Titan X ecosystem. Second to that would be the dude, right? From Helios. But they're all good. Respect to them all. They're doing the bottom line thing, which is burn the supply. Let's go back, take a look here because Inferno token in association with Blaze token. Shout out to the Blaze team. And I always got to scroll down. Oh, you know what? I have Blaze down here. Boom! It's in my watch list. I got to add Inferno. Let me go back and add Inferno to the watch list. Boom! It's there. Now I can switch to Blaze. I got to remember to do that for all the Build on Titan X tokens. Forget. So Blaze, thing I love about Blaze too, they're working together with Inferno, Flux. All of that's going to be it's going to be great. This supply right here. Let's look at the supply. I've covered this before, but I just got to keep showing you guys. 468,000 tokens. There's only 418 holders. There will only be 11 million tokens, and that can be in circulation. It's going to take 18 years. It doesn't get any more bullish than that on these plays that are all LP with Titan X. All the tides will rise together, and how many X's on a leverage you can get. People are looking at Dragon X and they're like, we're late. There's a lot of these protocols that you're still early on. You're not like Dragon X late. You're like early. If I go back to Inferno, right? And you would have participated in Inferno at the very beginning, Look at this. And let's say you got close to the bottom here. They're damn near a 10x at this point. They were at, damn near a 10x. They're there. They're like practically there, right? And versus like if you just held your Titan X around the same time when that came out in early August. When you look at ratios, when you look at the ratios, these plays are turning out that they're outperforming Titan X. They're doing more X's so that you can come back and swap and get more Titan X where all roads lead to. That's where Dragon X is. Inferno's gotten there quicker than anybody else. On being able to ratio back for more Titan X. Dragon X took many, many months up until this point, and it just went parabolic as far as outperforming Titan X. That's why these build on Titan X protocols, the way they're designed, the way they're paired up, the way their mechanics and they're burning Titan X and the flywheels are allowing people to come back and trade out for more Titan X in the end. We'll take a look at Dragon X, and then we're going to go into the post-chain ecosystem, right? Dragon X here, a little bit in the green, paired up with Titan X, a hyper deflationary token at this time, has Hydra coming out, which Hydra is going to be part of its ongoing ecosystem, build on Dragon X ecosystem, will be the first one for Dragon X pretty much. And this was, I'll put it to the watch list too, the very first build on Titan X protocol to come out like a couple days before the biggest payout for staking. It came out in January, so almost 1 year old in January. But that's when it launched, and you'll see how long it took. There was a lot of struggling points as far as being in that and swapping out. People sat through, stormed the weather, and then now they're at these new heights, and they can trade back to their Titan X for much more. The ratio is like 10 to 1, 13 to 1, whatever it is. You can take a look. Jumping to the post-chain ecosystem. I'm going to add everything to my watch list today, right? Do I have Hex here? I do have Hex. So just going to add PLS and Pulse as well. Man, look how that keeps on growing. And this is pre-Sack Daddy. This is pre-Sack Daddy prices right here, right? Sack Daddy hasn't even rolled through yet, and through his big wad of cash, Big Daddy Warbucks has yet to come and throw out his big stack of cash to pump the ecosystem. Why? Because he's waiting for Ethereum to go up. And if you guys haven't taken a look at where you can track, well, when will Sack Daddy come? Well, come to look into rh.com. Sack Daddy spent $645,592,000 on 171,088 Ethereum, and that is down 232 plus million. It's only worth $413.54 million. Average price entry was $3,773. The DCA price he bought into. So down hard, but when the time comes and the market decides, and all these things like rate cuts and the election, and my speculation is if Trump wins, super bullish for crypto. Everyone in crypto is going to go crazy, right? They're going to go crazy on Monday when that DeFi Liberty World DeFi platform launches. He's good for crypto. Do you like his policies? You don't like the way he is? He is good for crypto. Hands down versus anybody else that's ever stepped foot into politics. Everyone seems to be the puppets. They're like, we got to keep the banks around forever. Like, nah, I don't know why you would want to work on the side of the banks. They're the crooks. They're the gangsters. They're the banksters. People are waking up to that. You want to know what it feels like to have no control? What's up, Hex Clips? The Hex pump will be epic. It sure will. Go to your ATM machine and try to pull out $1,000. You can't. You got to walk into the bank. And if you want to pull out, let's say $3,500, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas, we don't have that. We have to order it. You can place an order and you can come back Friday, if it's a Monday, and we'll have your money ready. What do you mean you don't have $3,500? They got people working on the house right now that want to get paid now. Well, you can write them a check, and it's like they some people want cash, but That was, to me, it was so silly when I walked into a bank and I was like, "Can I get?" I think it was like $7,500. They needed to order it. You go, "You're a bank, man. Shoot, no wonder why nobody's robbing banks these days. They don't got the money there." If you rob a bank right now, you have to tell them to write you a check, homie, because there is nothing in the bank. They got to order it, and then they'll set it aside for a client. And it's like, man, I can get only $300 at the ATM and walk in and maybe get $1,000 in cash. They don't got it. They don't got it. It's a fugazi. So back to the price of Hex, man. Will there be a pullback on crypto? Maybe. Next week, we'll have to find out what happens with the Fed rate cuts. But if it does happen, a pullback would still be nice. But the ultimate goal is for this to, 10x from here is 5 cents. When PHEX was first around, and this is when, not too far back, and, with the SEC thing going on, it was like 3 cents. So, I mean, that's easy. Going to 10 cents, double digits, that's easy for you injecting a bunch of funds over, and then you got people pouring in because the bull market's happening. And if builders keep building and we see the price of Ethereum come up and people understand that leverage, they're going to be bombing over here, right? I'm just taking a look here. BBC is up 23%. Everything in crypto right now on all chains are having a positive day, right? Having a positive day. Let me pull up PulseX and we'll take a look at the price of PulseX. It's got to kill a zero. It's got to kill a zero. Keep going and kill a zero, but it's a long ways. It might, be some time until we see the bull market come. Maybe 60. Man, I'm thinking 60 days out. It's going to go parabolic after the elections. I don't know. We're at 4.0 to the 1921 for PulseX. Got to add this bad boy to the watch list here, right? And even EHEX, right? I mean, you cannot. I mean, it'd be kind of silly and stupid. Sorry if I offend anybody. It'd be silly, sorry, and stupid. Silly, sorry, and stupid. 3 S's. Yeah, it would be silly. It would be sorry. It would be stupid to think that Richard Hart was going to truly be like, "Oh, EHEX, the market has chosen PHEX," and just let it die off. No, man. This is the very first token he ever came out with back in December of 2019. It's going to run on 5 years. When those funds come over, it's going to take very little capital to put EHEX and EHEX to parity and add to those LP pools once they're at parity to position them to go up together. And it's just going to be like his ideas of Hart's Law when they're paired that way. Once they're at the same price, which will not take much capital at all to get EHEX to go to where PHEX is at, take very little injection. And with the BankX and all that, screw their sell wall. That's nothing. That's not going to be chewed up by anybody until we've hit bottoms and we move up. If we hit the bottom, we're moving up now. Great. But it would be stupid, silly, and I forgot what I said. Stupid, silly, and something. I forget, man. Anyways, jumping back. Let me see if anybody in the chat is speaking. Don't forget to pound the like button. What other token? Oh, duh. Ugh. Pulse itself. Gonna type in wrapped pulse. And then I gotta add it so I don't have to go and do this anymore. And then we'll look at the PRC20s. We'll look at the PRC20s. All right. So Pulse 4 zeros and a 3785. You look at that and you go, man, what happened? My SAC funds. Don't worry about it, man. That's what crypto does. We weren't in a bull market. So we weren't going to go in a bull market with Pulse without the rest of the market going up. When everything goes up together, you'll have your moment. Until then, you hold or you dollar cost average or you don't dollar cost average. It's up to you. It's really up to you. But the tides are rising together. Look at these jumps. And you're going to see it even in the PRC20s as well. PDI, prime example. PDI. Before I get into PDI, let me pull up. Let me check on my Twitter. You guys can't see the Twitter. I'll keep you on this page. I'm gonna search out for oh, is it you're gonna be sorry? Let's see. I'm gonna pull it up on Twitter so that I can show you the links to the Curve protocol, and we'll look at it live to see, the activity that's going on. The activity going on with Curve protocol is its interaction with Pulse Chain is doing something funky with the PRC20s, with the free copies. That's PDI, that's PUSDT, and that's PUSDC. All right. So something was triggered to do that. Obviously RH, and there's a second wallet too that I would look at, but I posted 2 links for people to study, and I'll go and review that here in a minute. I just gotta find that post on my Twitter page. I think I did it like a day or so ago. I should have pinned it at the top. Did I pin it at the top? Oh, I did. Sure enough, I did. All right. So let me pull up the link here, and we'll go into DBank and we'll look at the curve. First, we're going to look here, right? So we're at DBank. We're looking at curve protocol. You'll see 3 minutes and 44 seconds ago, minus 9,196 PDI for a plus 18,989 USDC. It's doing these transactions all day, every day. And you'll see just out of the blue, minus 27,761 PUSD. And then you reflect back to the chart, right? You're seeing PDI go up. They're all going up together. They're moving together. They're not the same price yet, but moving back to looking at these prices here, let me pull up the tab. We jump into USDT, spiked up, went down. It's having this moment since this action's been going on, since it was triggered the other day. It went up, down, went back up, down. I expect it to go back up and just keep building a new floor. I believe this has to do what it's doing. It's ratioing these tokens to go up and closer together in price. How long it'll take, I don't know. But let me pull up the other, because we're looking at the DBank protocol curve on the blockchain here on DBank. Let me show you the other link as to why I'm following this particular wallet that is Richard Hart's wallet, right? A RH wallet. We'll look at that right now. What did I do here? Oh, I pulled up myself. Let me pull up the share screen. And we're going to go to the wallet that ends in 2822. Okay. So we're looking at the wallet that ends in 2822 and looking at what happened here with Aave. Okay. So it's the number one holder on Pulse Chain Aave. And if you want to look at something funny, let's see if it's still up. And then I'm going to follow it too. So type in Aave on Dex Screener, right? So you have Aave here. Boom, it's $142. You got to scroll down and you'll see here the Pulse Chain Aave. So if you look at the wallet and you look at the activity of what's going on and what's happened from the beginning of time, what Richard did, let me get on that screen. So we're at Pulse Chain Aave right here. He owns the most amount of tokens. We can click here on holders, and I'll share the holder screen here. And you can confirm that the wallet ending in 2822 holds the top amount of tokens. It's 1,075,186 Aave tokens. And what Richard did was he went and added liquidity and then bought all these tokens and then pulled the liquidity back and bought all these tokens, positioned himself at the number one wallet for Aave token. So there's a lot of speculation on to why he would do that. Why did he make sure that his wallet ending in 2822 had the number one spot in Aave? So that's one thing I want to give you to go research and take a look at, right? Because I can't think for you. You got to think outside of the box and really go, okay, what the F's going on here? So back to the wallet ending in 2822. Look at the all the tokens it holds from the free copies, over. And let's see how much wrapped Bitcoin. It has 32,671 wrapped forked Bitcoin. right? This wallet's worth $9.3 million, all on Pulse Chain. Free copies, Pepe, Link, right? So these are not just worthless tokens, but look at the amount of tokens that it has paired up on PulseX. It has the regular wrapped Bitcoin paired up with Ethereum DAI. It has Ethereum wrapped with Ethereum DAI. And this is an RH wallet because at the beginning of the inception of Pulse Chain, we saw the interactions of what this wallet did and what was going on with PDAI. Like Richard Hart's stable token is PDAI. There's proven things that have been done on chain to show that. So it's not something that I'm here to argue. It's there, but just look at all the liquidity it's providing for free copies. So people can say for no reason, like $210,000 of DAI wrapped with Pulse. You know, why would he do that? Maker wrapped with Pulse. USDC wrapped with Pulse. All this stuff. There's a lot. You got to study. You got to study and see this. Go look at how much PDAI was minted, the 500 million PDAI that was minted. Look at the wallet that was associated and involved with that. There's enough evidence out there for you to go out there to get busy and get lost. But when you bridge it all together, you're going to go, whoa, okay, something's happening. Jesse Johnson, what are you the most bullish on? OPZen, TitanX, or Pulse Chain? Let's pull up OPZen really quick. All right. Listen, guys, I'm in Pulse Chain. I'm in Zen. I'm in OPZen. Out of all the protocols, I'm very okay. So I would go with OPZen. Definitely go with OPZen. The forever down token known as Zen, right, is going to transition from having like not a huge incentive to get rid of tokens out of circulation. It's minting, right? So TitanX is minting, but they have a flywheel effect of burning tokens. Great. It's working now. And now the inflation is slowing down. Perfect. Well, that's the flywheel effect of what's going on in the TitanX ecosystem. What's happening with Zen is a full-blown blockchain has been created with 150,000 TPS. It's 150,000 transactions per second it can handle. The blockchain X1 is already designed and built and ready to go mainnet. They're figuring out the wallet. The ability of that blockchain, the design and everything was built after they went and pretty much clogged all the networks. They brought down Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain was like broken. They broke all the chains. They pushed them to their limits, and they figured out what the heck's going on that these blockchains can't handle, more users, more mass adoption. So put that into account that it was built to surpass the abilities of all other chains we have ever used. Every chain we have ever used, and we're saying mass adoption, come in, everybody. They're not prepared or ready for that. They can barely handle the excitement of a meme token or a huge DeFi launch. What do you think is going to happen when Trump's platform launches, the Worldwide Liberty, which I believe it launches on Ethereum? The gas fees are going to go up on Monday. All right? Like crazy. So X1 is designed to be the best blockchain to ever be in existence, to handle the most TPS and everything. It's going to be very slick. I don't think it's going to be anything we've ever experienced, even on an exciting day, is where you're going to see it at its best ability. Let me just sink that in your mind. All right. Then there's going to be the auctions and the allocations for the tokens for the on-chain native token. That the way you're going to get that, the design effect that is going to get people to get allocations for that is going to be by burning your tokens. You can burn them now, but there's going to be an allocation system in place where you can just go on there and burn your tokens to participate and get your allocations. OPZen, when you burn it, you're burning a version of Zen. Every version on Zen had started off like Zen with 3,000 AMPs. 3,000. OPZen, for some reason, for whatever reason, OPZen was created with 300 AMP. That means it's 10 times harder to mint than any other Zen on any other blockchain. That's CBZen. They're all designed with 3000 AMP. The 300 AMP mark, right, is already said and done. It's like 50 plus days past the 300 day AMP. Zen's AMP rate is going to take another 6 and like 6.3 years to get to the end of the road. Or OPZen's already there, plus it's over. Right? You mint an OPZen ZenFT right now, you're only going to get one OPZen per day off your mint, where you could have been minting and getting hundreds of millions at the end of the road when you collect that mint. That's why they're in so much profit right now, because the price is going up. So imagine you look at the price of Zen right now. I got to add OPZen to this watch list. I'm getting excited because this is more powerful than anything I speak about. But not everybody's getting it. Not everybody's getting it. Everyone is like, oh, Titan X is going up, green candles, Dragon X. Like, okay, I'm excited about that stuff. I know Sack Daddy's got money, but this is like a never seen before opportunity with X1, with probably the greatest blockchain that will ever be in existence until something comes in and does it better. Pulse Chain was just a fork of Ethereum made to have just cheaper gas fees. And we saw what the minting phase of Pulse or PZen did to that chain. It clogged it up. Like, it was only 2 months old and was like, dude, Pulse Chain is slow. Like, what's going on? Because other people minting PZen, right? So seeing that Zen is having this price action and happy time, and they've been above 5 zeros at its best, and that the 3000 amps is still in effect, right? And it's going to take another 6 years and like 3 months to get to OPZen, but could still go on a parabolic run to 5 zeros and plus, with X1. Just imagine what's going to happen with OPZen, because it's already there ahead of time, years ahead of time. You could call it light years, really, if you think about it. Crypto, a week in crypto is like a month in crypto is, several months. A year in crypto is like a decade. Just, we're like beyond cat years and dog years. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. If the person who has been minting since day one, like I have with OPZen, they're going to be monsters, because there could be a 10x multiplier, right, on your allocation for burning OPZen. Since it's 10 times harder to mint, that only makes sense. Meaning, if you burn 1 billion Zen on any other chain, right, you would only have to burn 100 million OPZen to match that allocation to be the same, since it would have a 10x multiplier. Digest it. Do your homework. Man, you got me all worked up, Jesse Johnson, but I don't think any of these people know. And it's good. That's where you make your money. When you go and you plug in the gaps and certain opportunities when people don't see it and they miss it. Because the world is tuning in on what's going on with Pulse Chain. It's down. Okay, let's dollar cost average, SAC funds, all that's coming. And then the world is distracted when you have Titan X protocol. I'm not distracted. I'm in everything. I'm hyper focused on it all. But I see the potential on what will happen with Titan X flywheel, and what I've seen with Dragon X, the simulation there, and what I saw with hyper simulation and what it will be like for Hydro for Dragon X. I see all that. But what you're about to witness and what you're about to see based off the math of the AMP and the difficulty of OPZen, I think that is going to be my biggest winner I've ever experienced in all of crypto. And I'm going to throw that out there. That's what I believe. And I saw the opportunity early. I realized that there was something going on here. That out of all, what was it, like 10 plus blockchains that Zen launched on, had 3000 AMP, and OPZen only had 300. 10 times harder to mint. And it was the only one built that way. They call that the one Billy gun. All right. They call that the one Billy gun. And people slept on it. They're still asleep on it. And I'll give you a link in the comments for you guys to go research this so you guys can go pull up the evidence, because I'm not going to do your homework for you. I've made videos about this. And when I make videos about this, it's low content views, right? People don't want to hear it. They don't see it. They don't understand it, right? So what that tells me is people are not aware. The education wasn't there. And I don't see Jack Levin saying much about it. He's mentioned it before, but I'll put a link in the comments for people to go and pull it up. Fine. We'll look one time on camera so I can show you the AMPs, but you guys got to go out there and do your homework. And I'll put the link to get here in the description of this video, right? So if you're on zen.pub, you want to start off there, right? And you want to go into, let's see, I'm going to pull it up on my screen in a second, guys. Don't worry. So you guys can share this moment in history that's in the making. It's in the making. I cannot believe the amount of people that don't know that this freaking exists. So let me put you to zen.pub in the comments in the chat so you guys can reference it, reference back to this, right? This site here, show it on the screen. It's in the chat box too. So we're here. We see Zen. We see all the changes that Zen's on the left-hand side. A Zen, CB Zen, B Zen, DC Zen, VV Zen, Co Zen, FN Zen, all the Zens. OP Zen's down here somewhere. Where's OP Zen? Right here. And you look at the amps. Zen's on day 706 of 3,000 days of AMP. I'm just going to shut up for a second. I'm going to click on all the other ones and just be quiet. So you can see that they're all like that. No, I'm not going to shut up because I need to speak loud about this. Let me go to Avalanche then. You guys are lucky I'm sharing this data with you. This is the biggest alpha I've ever released on a live stream that I ever will release. 700 days out of 3,000 AZen. Coinbase Zen. Let's go to CB Zen. Let's go to CB Zen. All right. Man, internet going nuts. Internet going nuts. 385 days out of 3,000 on CB Zen. Remember, they all launched at different times. Let's go to Binance Zen, BZen. Take this alpha and do what you want with it. I do research. You don't want to be sleeping on this. You do not want to be sleeping on OP Zen. I repeat, you do not want to be sleeping on OP Zen. You just don't. I've been saying it since I started this channel. The very first video I made, go look. The very first video I made, I said I was focusing on Pulse Chain and Optimism Zen. BZen. Day 702 out of 3,000 AMP. Cool. They're all the same, right? Phantom Zen. We're going to skip PV Zen, Co Zen. We're going to go to Phantom Zen, then Pulse Chain Zen, and then OP Zen. This means the difference, right? The difference. 6 days, 686 out of 3,000 for FM Zen. So the ones that's the closest to the 3,000 days is obviously Ethereum Zen because it was the first to launch. First to launch. All right. And then we'll look at PZen, which broke Pulse Chain, clogged it up. It's really bad. 488 days AMP out of 3,000. Now we go to OP Zen. The one Billy Gun. The one Billy Gun. Son of a gun. Day 363 out of 300. It surpassed its AMP of 300. We're at 63 days. Why was and it's 121% complete? Where it's at puts it 6.25 years ahead of any other blockchain of where Zen on Ethereum, the original one that was created, will not be in this position as far as the difficulty to mint for another 6.25 years. I mean, come on. Why was it the only one designed for 300? The one Billy Gunn. And then we'll look at the before we end it, we'll look at the price of this right now. You can still buy. I mean, not a financial advisor for damn sure, not a professional. But I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. I made so many mints that can mint 100 of them a day, multiple wallets, because I made so many. You cap out the amount of NFTs you can make. So you have to make multiple wallets to make enough to be able to collect 100 per day. So you end up with like 10, 20 wallets, right? And now I see what's happened. And now people are discovering what's happened. People are talking about it now. The cat's out of the bag. I'm buying more and I'm staking it. And I'm making staking ladders starting from June 1st of 2025. And every day I'm buying OPZen and making staking ladders all the way out to pay myself every day, just like I'm collecting everyday miners, staking to come out. And when I collect those stakes, I can use the reward to burn for X1. And X1 could come out this year or the beginning of next year. We don't know. Some people speculate October. Some people speculate October, which October will be the 2-year anniversary for Zen. 1-year anniversary for Titan X. Give you a little Titan X alpha here, too, to be excited about. Look at the amount of tokens they're going to hit circulation, go out and hit the market tomorrow, 2 days from now. Inflation will be at its highest. It's going to be moving forward forever. This is going to be the highest day of tokens coming out from miners, September 15th on Sunday. And look how it just dwindles down to no inflation, practically zero inflation into December. You know what that means for you in December where there's practically no inflation? A good, merry mother, you know what, Christmas. And a happy new year. All right. Check out the chart for Fork Zen on Pulse Chain. I'm giving out top secret alpha OG Zen. Yeah. Let's take a look at OG Zen. I got this airdropped to me. I don't remember. Oh, because of my stakes, not my stakes. The Zen that I had, the mints that I had on Ethereum, I got this copied over to Pulse Chain, and Pulse Chain refers to it as OG Zen, and OG Zen has outperformed the price of P Zen, which was like another separate like contract made for Pulse Chain. And it's been outperforming. And I don't know the price chart for that one, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. Let me add all these to my watch list though. All the Zens, so that maybe it can help me look for that. I know how to get the contract. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to pull up the site I have that I collect my other ones pretty much daily. And I can reference it from there. 1 second. And I'll be able to pull that up in Deck Screener in T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go to Deck Screener. So this is going to be the OG Zen right here. And I'm going to select the OG Zen contract address on Pulse. It's paired with the Tropa. And it's paired. It looks like the biggest pair is with the Tropa, actually. So you can sell into a Tropa with this one. It looks like I guess the community decided to do that. So this is the Zen, I believe he's talking about. That you can sell it into the Atropa token. Right? Let me click a watch list for that. Because this contract address ends in 6FB8. And then PZen. Where did I find PZen? Did I save it? I didn't save PZen. Gosh, I'm an idiot. Let me type in PZen on Pulse Chain. That ends in a way totally different number. Different prices as well. Ends in 9827. We'll add that one to watch list. And it's a way different token. So you see different in price too. So PZen and then Zen on a trope, Zen on Pulse Chain. It's another one. We'll call it like the legacy OG Zen. This is a good way to put it. You can mint it still on CoinTool. I got 1 trillion plus for less than $10. Don't think many people know. Yeah, it says on the website you can't do that from the OG Zen.network site. So I wasn't aware of that. But we're an hour and 5 minutes in, guys. We're gonna end the live stream there. You got the alpha. All right. I gave you the ultimate alpha that you'll ever hear to come out of my mouth, and it's OP Zen. Don't forget to pound the like button, drop a comment. Till next time, we shall do it again. Yeah, dog.